Airbnb, let's start there. This is something that came up in the Q&A. A lot of folks were, I think, hopeful that it had gone through its kind of due diligence phase, as our friends over at the IPO lifecycle trade talk about. But man, this just can't seem to get traction.
Yeah, I mean, accumulation distribution rating of D, it's just stuck on a downtrend. The industry group has been struggling. So, it's interesting. I mean, the airline stocks in general, I mentioned Ryanair, RYAAY, which had a pretty good earnings report and pretty good outlook, but you can see that stock has given back a lot of its early gain. But a stock like Airbnb, I mean, it still has its fans, but this is exactly what the challenges of overhead supply are going to be for this stock, because first of all, for it to break out of its downtrend, and for buyers really to maintain the upper hand here, it's going to have to get above its 50-day moving average, and not to mention its 200-day line. So just to me, it looks like a stock where sellers are in control, and if you're trying to catch it on sale here, there's at least the technicals tell me right now there's risk for some more downside here. So I'd be careful with this one. Sellers are in control, and it's an avoid for me.
Justin, a lot of people have been asking, we've talked about the macro, like what is the macro, right? And so this is a great example of, like, to me, the macro headwinds for Airbnb are so strong that it's kind of, it could have kept you out of this stock. So there's a lot of some countries, I almost said, but states, cities that are taxing. They don't want the Airbnbs there. And I heard, like, in Colorado, they raised the tax so high that a lot of these people who had their models where they can make 8%, with these tax raising of taxes for these short-term rentals, now that model's gone. And so
I think some cities are putting ordinances in.
Yeah, my brother owns a couple of
I think
these.
San Diego,
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, pushback against this. So if you knew that, or you're reading that, or you're watching that, you can kind of piece it together and say it's not a great base. The stock's just okay. Maybe there's something to what I'm reading, and that could have kept you out of something like this. It has kept me out forever. I've never been a fan of Airbnb. The cleaning fees drive me crazy. It's just, I tell my brother, we should be forget the Airbnb business. We should be in the cleaning of Airbnb businesses, because the fees are outrageous. And he goes, yeah, it's really difficult to get people.
And sometimes I'll be honest, I go into an Airbnb and I'm like, this doesn't look that clean. Not $200, not $200 clean.
Yeah. So it's little things like that you can piece together to help you. I don't know. I mean, it's not easy, but that would help you to make kind of a decision. Like, okay, what's the story? This is the story. Okay, then here's the chart. And to me, the chart ain't all that great, and the story is kind of suspect. And so it would have been an easy avoid.
Well, and I feel like for us, a lot of times the chart, kind of, even if the story is great, if the chart isn't confirming it, then it's kind of like, well, how do we get the confidence to make a play? What about, booking? Because, I mean, there was so much talk about, I mean, this looks very different. It certainly had its kind of pullback here to its 40-week moving average line, but so many people were talking about the kind of built up desire to travel again after COVID and everything that was going on there. I mean, you've got the jets that, gosh, the airlines, I mean, those have suffered. And then Ken was talking about some of the hotels, a little bit of consolidation between Hilton, Grand Vacations, but you got Marriott and what is their
MG.
Marriott has its Grand Vacation thing too. I can't remember what it is.
VAC Vacation.
VAC, is that what it is? Yeah, there you go. Marriott Vacations. Thank you. I mean, a lot of these are just, they've been kind of thrashed. So that whole thesis of all of this pent up, travel, it seems like they had a lot of false starts, and it was really difficult to get traction here.
The charts tell the story, like you said. This isn't a great chart by any means, and hasn't been for a long, long time. Booking is fine. The chart looks fine, and it's a great example. If you pull up the monthly chart of the whole NVIDIA thing, like, or what was it? I can't remember the other stock was like, give it the benefit of the doubt. It can go a lot further than you think. Look at this, 8 to 3,000. But at some point, the heart's out of the melon as a growth investor for Booking. I can't remember the last time I've owned Booking. And it's gone from, in 2013, it broke out at 800 and it's here. So it's done really well, but there's an economies of scale. It's partly like Apple.